In this lesson, we're making Irish soda bread. And Irish soda bread is really unique in that the leavening agent in this particular bread is sodium bicarbonate. Sodium bicarbonate is also known as baking soda. So we will be using some baking soda for our leavening agent rather than a traditional yeast. So we're gonna start out with our egg. I've just got an egg here that's at room temperature. I'm gonna add it to my buttermilk. The exact conversions and measurements are listed here on the project page. You can actually download the recipe. All the details are right there for you. But I'm gonna go ahead and whisk this in, incorporate it with my buttermilk. And I'm using a 1.5% buttermilk. It's a reduced fat buttermilk. Set that off to the side. So I have some all-purpose flour here, and I'm gonna need 4 1/4 cups of this. And I'm gonna just sift that right in. The soda bread is actually quite tender, and it's very dense, but it's light. You will probably be surprised by that. I'm gonna go ahead and start putting in a little bit of my my sugar, and a little bit of my baking soda and salt so that I can whisk these. Got some clumpies there. So that was 2, 3, and 1/4. You can see I've got a little bit of clump of sugar in there, so that is why we strain. Okay, so set that off to the side. I'm going to cube up 6 tablespoons of unsalted, very cold butter. You want this to be cold. This will make it go even faster. So I've got my 6 tablespoons of butter, and I'm just going to grate that right into my flour. I don't want to touch it too much because the warmth from my hand will actually melt it. So this is just a quick little hack. And now we don't even have to touch it. Just like that. Mix that all up. Okay, so we got that done. Make sure this is all incorporated. Okay, so next we're gonna bring in our buttermilk mixture here. Get this out of my way. This will make 2 loaves. I'm gonna make 1 big loaf today. When I teach this class in person, we make 2 loaves. You could also divide it and then just freeze half the dough and bake half the dough. And that way you have one in your freezer all ready to go whenever you get the urge to have some soda bread. Get the rest of this in here. You could add raisins if you'd like, or currants, black currants. I am not a raisin person, so I am opting out of that. But if you love raisins and you want to add them, that is your business. Go for it. So the butter, there's 3 different ways that you can incorporate the butter. You can chop it up, mash it with a fork. You could have added it, mashed it up with a pastry blender, or grate it like we did with a cheese grater, which is by far the quickest way to do it. And you can also do that with your buttermilk biscuits. Do that same technique. Grab my bowl scraper here because this is getting difficult to incorporate. Bowl scraper allows you to get all of that flour scraped down and incorporate it into your dough. It also allows me to not touch the dough, so I'm not touching that butter. Next, I want to go ahead and work the dough on a piece of parchment paper. So I'm going to go ahead and flour the surface here so that my dough doesn't stick. And I'm just going to use my bowl scraper to get it out. And I'm going to flour my hands a tad because I want to work this. I'm just going to gently fold it. I want this to come together. I like to use the parchment. You'll notice in a lot of my videos, I use parchment to help me do my kneading. I find when I'm working with doughs that have butter in them, it also protects the butter from melting from the heat of my hands. Okay, I'm just going to lightly knead this now. I want this to come together a little bit more than it is. Need more flour. All right, here we go. I'm gonna get this into a bit of a ball. Bring over my pan that I'm going to be cooking this in. Grab this dough, and I am going to transfer it right into a bowl. I just want this to be a little bit smoother on top. Okay, here we go. Right in the middle. Right over, you can see. You can do this in cast iron as well. Okay, and then I'm just going to score the top of it. I'm just going to score a little X. And into the oven it will go. I'm gonna bake this at 400 degrees until it is nice and golden brown. Our bread is done. Oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. It is nice and done. You can kind of hear that hollow sound. It's so beautiful. Perfectly golden brown and done. Look at that beautiful, beautiful bread.